A quietly sad poem from Emily Dickinson? It can't be, but it is. Welcome to Strip Coverlet, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Fort, and we are here for another poetry discussion, which will appear in 3 separate playlists here on the channel. Number 1 being, of course, the poetry discussion playlist, which is now approaching. We're about 9 or 10 videos shy of 600 videos strong. Number 2 being the Emily Dickinson playlist, a playlist of videos dedicated exclusively to the greatest poet there ever was. And number 3 being the Reading in a Winter Wonderland playlist here on the channel. Videos dedicated to the themes of cold, snow, ice, winter, death, and the like, celebrated during December of 2024. The poem in question today is The Snow That Never Drifts, and it reads as such. The snow that never drifts, the transient, fragrant snow that comes a single time a year is softly driving now. So thorough in the tree at night beneath the star that it was February's foot experience would swear. Like winter as a face, we stern and former new, repaired of all but loneliness by nature's alibi. Were every storm so spice the value could not be, we buy with contrast, pang is good, as near as memory. So, because it's me, I had to screw up the reading at least once. Now, what are we talking about with this poem, The Snow That Never Drifts? What are we supposed to take from this and apply literary value to? What are we supposed to take from this poem and carry as the metaphor throughout? Well, I think it's a little bit of a difficult poem to find in which to find purchase. I think it's a little bit of a difficult poem to really navigate your way through unless you take a step back from the poem, unless you decide there must be a core and central metaphor. That is an assumption I am willing to make with this poem. And the moment you do that, I think the thing that sticks out is this. It highlighted the wrong word. Now it's frozen. Never drifts. How realistic is it that snow never drifts? I would argue it is not very realistic at all. I want to spend some time here and talk about what could this mean. The snow that never drifts. Snow drifts. Obviously, this is then not real snow. Real snow drifts around. Real snow blows around. And to throw out there the word never, not doesn't kind of suggest that maybe there's a little bit of drifting, but really, on the whole, this snow doesn't drift. No, the poet, the speaker here, is sure to use the word never. The snow that never drifts. That is pretty final. This snow, then, is not real. This snow is some type of ethereal. This snow is some type of otherworldly. What if the snow itself, the snow that never drifts, is a metaphor for memories themselves? What type of memories? Well, we carry on in the poem. Like winter as a face. That is a weird simile there. Winter as a face. Unless this winter is a face because the winter is the larger part of the snow. The snow being the idea of a memory, the winter itself being the idea of a specific memory perhaps of a specific person, a loved one who now lives solely through memory. Or, look, it is not necessary that the loved one, if we're using a loved one as the memory here, it is not necessary that the loved one be dead. Especially in Emily Dickinson's time, great distance was cause enough for memory to be the only way you would see someone. They weren't video chatting. There were no movies. They weren't calling each other up and talking on the phone. They weren't watching each other's YouTube videos or vlogs. This idea of at least distance, if not death, becomes further instilled, I think, by the invocation of loneliness just 2 lines later. Repaired of all but loneliness. That loneliness, therefore, is still there. So if we have this idea of the snow that never drifts as a stand-in for memories, a metaphor for memories, the idea of memories of what? Of maybe the cold distance between you and a loved one, whether that distance is final or not. Memories that leave you repaired of all but the actual loneliness. And then just a little bit further in the poem, we every storm so spice that value could not be. We buy with contrast, pang is good, as near as memory. That pang of loneliness that we get from memories. The memories solve everything but the pang. Now, what a beautiful metaphor for something like that. The snow that never drifts. You look out your window and you see still snow. That is the idea of the loved one. That is the idea of the good time in your life. That is the idea of the dreams that once you had. Those are the snow that never drifts, the snow that is never defaced, the snow that never melts. If this is some ethereal metaphor for memories, some ethereal metaphor perhaps for dreams, then we have to understand it in the context of other seasons as well. What is the winter? The winter is cold. The winter is desolate. The winter is about being isolated, the being of isolation. Winter is death. Winter is the end. It is not the nicer seasons. It is almost undoubtedly, the worst of the seasons. The very worst of the season. Even if you like the cold, man, do you really want to get out and drive in the snow? Even if you like the snow, man, do you really want to get out when it's icy? No one likes the ice. You'd rather not be in the snow and the ice. There's somewhere better to be on the timeline. Our memories, the death season of the human timeline. Is there always somewhere better to be than within one's own memories. Is that part of the commentary here? That is all I have for this poetry discussion. If you like or appreciate what it is I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, literature is the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.